Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. Lots of South Australian sport on the show as I welcome Rob Popplestone to the show. Poppy, how are you?
Well, I'm going okay. I was a bit distracted. You know, I was looking to thin air as you were talking to me just before the start of the show, and there's a few things that are annoying me, and I don't want to pop my top, but I'm going to later because the Crows are playing Brisbane, right?
Yes.
This week.
At Metricon Stadium, the women you're talking about.
Well, are we going to take this game seriously or not?
Why aren't we taking it seriously?
Well, why aren't we playing it at the Gabba?
Because the ground was no good.
Why?
Because of the Adele concert.
Oh,
the
come
turf got
on,
ripped
come
up.
on. I don't want to go too early. Just let me ease into this, but I'm going to bring it up later.
All right.
I've had enough of administrators in sport at the moment.
Right. Okay. You want to talk about John Coates, perhaps a little bit later in the show?
Just quickly go to
Danny
sport.
Rowe. Danny Rowe's just had a little bit of to and fro.
They're both going to cop it later. End of the show.
All right, we'll give you a chance to calm down because it's time to go over to Olivia Mason, find out the latest news in sport here in South Australia and Australia.
Thanks guys. Firstly to footy. If you are looking for something a little bit different than the usual AFL pre-season, come on down to Theberton Oval this Saturday for some real grassroots footy. The Australian Champions League, which has been described as the 2020 version of a footy match, made its highly successful debut in 2016. 7 sides from around the state will battle it out in a short carnival, similar to what many will remember as juniors, with a champion decided by the end of the day. The action starts at 10 a.m. and will be an exciting, fast-paced style of footy. The event also supports children's charities, the Little Heroes Foundation and the Captain Starlight Foundation. Plans are also in the works to make a similar style competition for netball in the not-too-distant future. And in cricket, the third test match in Ranchi has ended in a draw. Australia knocked up 451 in the first innings, with Glenn Maxwell scoring 104 and captain Steve Smith remaining undefeated by the ball and the dust with 178. Ravindra Jadeja was the pick of the Indian bowlers, taking 5 for 124. In reply, India declared on 603, with Pujara posting an impressive double century. For Australia, Pat Cummins was the leading wicket taker with 4 for 106. After a shaky start to the second innings, Australia managed to hold off the Indian bowling attack to draw the game. The series will be decided in the upcoming 4th test to be held in Dharamshala. And Netball SA is on the search for some talented people looking to support the South Australian Rubies netball team. The Rubies are a state netball team made up of players with an intellectual disability. The team will be heading to the Perth State Netball Centre in early September to compete for the annual Marie Little OAM Shield. The competition began in 2013 between 3 state teams and aims to improve the lives of people with an intellectual disability. A head coach, assistant and a team manager are needed to help the girls in their fight for the Shield. The Rubies are also always on the lookout for new players, and anyone interested is encouraged to contact Netball SA for further details. Lastly, our best wishes extend to an icon of Australian sports and fellow South Australian, Bruce McAvaney, who has revealed he is battling leukaemia. Everyone here at the SA Sports Show wishes Bruce and his family all the best in this difficult time. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
Great to have you back, Olivia. And there's a fair bit happening in the world of sport, Poppy.
There is indeed. We've got a fair bit to get through. We've got a lightning premiership of sorts. Remember the old lightning premiership days? We're going to talk dragon boat racing. We've got all sorts of sport to cover.
All right, we need to get down with George Booth, who's down with Tony Bamford, talking to the South Adelaide under-18 coach at Air Diffusion Agencies.
Welcome back to the SA Sports Show. I'm here with Tony Bamford. Tony, thanks for joining me.
No worries, George.
So we just want to talk about a bit about your previous career with Port Adelaide and now currently coaching.
Sure, mate.
So how was it to be a 3-time premiership player?
I was very lucky. Right place, right time, I think. Coming down from Brisbane as a 21-year-old, walking straight into a really experienced Port Adelaide Magpies team, and got carried along, to be honest with you, in 96, and then obviously 98 and 99 were good years as well under Steve Williams, so really fond memories of those days. But as I said, I was very lucky to be there at that time.
Would you say they are some of your best memories from the club?
Oh, no doubt, yeah. Any chance you get to play in a really successful team, you enjoy those moments, and they don't come along very often. A lot of people play a lot of football without any premiership success, but I was very lucky.
So now you've moved into coaching. How are you finding that?
Yeah, I love it. It wasn't something that I was planning on doing when I was playing, but towards the end of my career, I spent more times injured than I did playing, which was not how I planned it, but that was the way it turned out. And Started to get a little bit interested in what the coaches were doing match day and during the week, and Steve Williams was really encouraging and let me sit in the coach's box when I was injured a few times, and I guess that probably lit a bit of a fire. I've always been interested in athlete development and getting young men to be the best they can possibly be, and it was a natural transition for me to go from playing into coaching and through the talent manager program with the SNFL as well. And yeah, 14 years later, I'm still doing it.
So would you say with your involvement in the club, you're just happy to be back coaching and continuing your involvement with the club after being, just a lifetime commitment to the club?
Well, now at South Adelaide, this is my 5th year at South after leaving Port Adelaide after 3 years as a lead coach there, and I was very lucky that South Adelaide offered me an opportunity to come down and start to rebuild and work in their zone in the talent pathway area. It's a fantastic club, great zone, great community. We have really strong football leagues down here that are very progressive and very passionate about their football and the development of players from within. So, I love the job. I love working in this industry. You meet some great people. You get to work with some really talented, motivated young men. It's a great lifestyle.
So can you tell us a bit about the player recruitment system? Is it just locally in SA, or do you look into state as well?
Oh yeah, sure, and it's a good question, and it's the recruitment and retention of players is a really big part of the SNFL, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger with the way that the competition's going, and clubs are now relying more on their junior players to come through, which is a good thing. It's just too expensive these days to go and recruit interstate players and relocate them and find them employment. It just doesn't happen as much that it used to. So therefore, clubs have had to invest in their own zones and the identification of talented players from within, which is where we come into play. We run programs from under 13 right through to under 18 level, and we probably experience maybe 250 to 300 players a year coming through those programs. And the challenge is to try and find the right ones, the ones with talent, the ones with the work rate, the ones with resilience, who can progress up to senior level. And in 5 years' time, we hope to have a good part of our league team from the South Adelaide zone.
So looking on to this year, do you think the team's got a good structure?
The league team will be in really good, safe hands with our new coach, Gary Hocking, who's come from Port Adelaide and has a background in development as well, working in the TAC Cup back in Melbourne. I was lucky enough that I had a little bit to do with Gary when I was at Port Adelaide, and he was there for the first year working in development, so I knew Gary before he was appointed. He's taken over in a very good position. Brad Gotch, our old coach, did a fantastic job for the 3 years that he was with us. I think Gary will add a bit more attacking flair to our league team and the way they play. Brad was very defensive orientated, so I think our league players have got that part okay, and I think Gary will now free them up a little bit and let them try and kick some bigger scores. So I'd expect the league team will be in and around finals again. I know Gary's got some high expectations, as do the players themselves. At junior level, it really is an unknown about how our guys will perform because we just don't know what the competition's like. We'll get a fair idea probably after round 4 or 5 where we sit in the big picture. Our under-18s had a great finish last year. We won 5 of our last 10 games, which was a great way for our guys to finish. The 16s finished second on the ladder, but got knocked out straight in the finals, which was unfortunate. But we expect to play finals at under-18 level this year, and we'll see how we go in September.
So talking about Gary, how are you finding his involvement with the club now? What's he bringing to the club?
He's been great. He thinks he's a part-time comedian, so he tries to lighten the mood a little bit. But he's got obviously the AFL background, and he's got all of the game knowledge and the game experience at AFL level that he can now bring into our team. He's got a great balance between being serious and having some fun, which I think is really important at SNFL level because these guys aren't full-time footballers. They've all got careers outside of the game, and it can be a really time-consuming involvement in the SNFL. He understands that, and he's got a good balance between work and play, so to speak, and he'll be fine.
So you're very confident for this season?
Yeah, of course we are. We're very confident in all of our programs and the coaches we've put in place. We just need the players to stay fit, healthy, and playing it to the best of their ability, and anything's possible.
Well, I've got high expectations now. Hopefully the club will do well this season. Tony, thanks for joining me today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Back to you, Phil.
Terrific. Thanks for that, George. Time for us to get to a break. Stay with us. Plenty of sport coming up on the show.